Hey guys, John here, back with another one for you. Just a little FYI, it's been raining all day here, and it's pretty loud. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background, but I'm going to sort of drive through this video. If you're catching that rain in the background, I apologize about that, but I don't feel like I'm going to be able to get a video out today if I don't just suck it up. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about soft skills, and I did a podcast episode on this yesterday. You can go to johnmorrisshow.com and just click the latest episode if you didn't get a chance to hear that. Go a little bit more in depth into it, but I want to talk about that today. And it's a little weird for me because I first talked about this back in 2013, and this was the first blog post I ever wrote on it. You can see is written 5 years ago. And what I said in that one was, but to be honest, I've never really talked much about what it really takes to be successful as a developer. And I was saying that because up to this point I had been doing just a lot of pure coding tutorials and so forth, and never really talked a lot about jobs or, the mental health or confidence or any of that stuff. And so this was sort of the first post that I started doing that with. So I continued, because while the technical mumbo-jumbo is cool, none of it really matters. Yes, you need to know how to do those things, but those things aren't what matter most when it comes to determining the successful from the unsuccessful. Any monkey can learn to code, which, I can look back now and admit that was probably a tad aggressive, but I think the larger point that I was trying to make still stands, that oftentimes soft skills are more important than hard skills, or at least as important. And I think in the years since I wrote this has pretty much been proven true. Yesterday in the podcast, I referenced this study by Robert Half. They say it turns out that a total of 51% of CIOs surveyed by Robert Half Technology listed either communication skills or problem-solving skills as the top skill sets needed for technology professionals who want to advance their careers. In other words, soft skills matter when it comes to career advancement. This is another one from CareerBuilder. But one piece of wisdom you may not have heard yet, and that 70% of employers believe, which is, again, it's based off a study that they did, highlight your soft skills just as much as your hard skills. And since then, this was about 2 years after I wrote that first blog post, a pretty well-known technology YouTuber, John Sonmez, wrote an entire book on soft skills and their importance and how to develop them and so forth. So, since then, it's become somewhat accepted. I think I've been proven right with this, but back in 2013, I took a lot of flack for saying that. And it wasn't just because I was being super aggressive. There were people just flat out disagreed, and everyone was so wrapped up in tech skills being the end all be all. But now, 5 years later, me saying this to you now probably doesn't even seem controversial. You might even be thinking, well, yeah, duh, that's obvious. Everybody knows that. And that's a pretty common response I get when I talk about this. So in those 5 years, what happened? How did it go from being something that I took so much flack for to now just being something that's sort of common knowledge? And I think it goes back to what I've been telling you, which is the rapid evolution of our industry has all kinds of side effects. All the new stuff coming out, all the technology, and just how fast everything is progressing and evolving. There's a lot of side effects that come with that. And I've talked about competition. I've talked about overwhelm. I've talked about some of the others. But one of those is also a loosening focus on hard skills. Now, why is that? And I think this article here does a good job of explaining it. So, according to WEF's executive summary, Future of Jobs, many industries will go through disruption, and competition for specific roles will get more fierce as the years go by. Recruiters will also experience difficulties in this setting, mainly in means of properly filtering out candidates and acquiring top talent. Skill demands and technical means will continue to evolve rapidly across all sorts of industries, predominantly because of innovations in technology. This is why employers started putting more weight on soft skills as new logical criteria for differentiating candidates. So what that means is, as the industry grows in complexity and the rate of change increases, it becomes silly to focus on any one language or framework or tool or skill. It kind of becomes pointless because 5 minutes later, something new is going to come out, which, by the way, is why all the medium heads who love to call everybody noobs for not learning the latest flavor of the week or whatever, that's why those people are so moronic, and I constantly point them out and make fun of them, because it's just silly given what's happening in our industry. And so eventually what matters isn't what you know, it's your ability to learn, which is a soft skill. Your ability to adapt, your work ethic, your dependability, your non-douchiness. What companies need in an environment that is changing this rapidly is someone who can thrive with all of that change, who can survive a rapidly evolving environment and be able to adapt, and not someone who just happens to know XYZ language. And soft skills are what allow you to do that. Character, honesty, work ethic, all of those things that we think of are what allow you to thrive in a rapidly changing environment. So just clutching onto one language as this is going to be the thing that saves the world, it's the end all be all or whatever. Again, in an environment like this, it's just silly. Now, it doesn't mean that employers aren't still going to ask. You're going to go look at jobs, they're going to be on there, and so forth. And yes, you need to know some languages and some frameworks and some tools. It's not like you don't need to have any tech skills. But when it comes down to who they actually hire, the resume process, the interview process, the people that advance once they get hired, all of that, more and more in this industry is becoming about those soft skills. That's what's going to allow you to succeed and advance and have a good career and a good life from all of this, is but working on those soft skills. So again, I think the point still stands, while I may have been a little aggressive, that it's not that tech skills don't matter, but day by day they're losing their importance in terms of comparing them to soft skills. So the point of all of this is, as you're putting all this time into learning, HTML and CSS and JavaScript and PHP and MySQL and Node and Go and whatever else is out there that you might be doing, whatever it is you're doing technical wise, whatever it is you're learning, don't forget to develop those soft skills, to understand the importance of developing a work ethic, of being honest, of maybe for you, it's getting out of your shell and learning how to communicate effectively, and that your tech skills are not going to trump those things. Those things are always going to matter. Or if you're someone who is maybe a little older and trying to get into this industry, and you're sort of worried about all these young kids that have learned all these languages and so forth, understand that your work experiences are very valuable. And all the soft skills that you picked up, all the work ethic things and all the dependability and showing up, all of that stuff, the ability to work with others, all of that stuff matters. And that's stuff that you can leverage in the hiring process to get hired for a job that maybe other people might be more technically skilled, but because you have so much experience, you might be able to get that job. So again, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever your situation, don't get so wrapped up in tech skills and thinking that's all that matters, because these soft skills may well be the thing that gets you hired. Which, by the way, again, is why I strongly recommend that any new developer freelances for at least a year, because freelancing is sort of like boot camp for soft skills. You have to learn how to market yourself, how to deal with clients, how to plan and execute on a project, sometimes very large projects, all sorts of different soft skills that really have nothing to do with your technical ability. They have to do with your work ethic, how reliable you are, how well you can communicate and all that. So it's a really good way to put yourself through a kind of boot camp of soft skills. Anyway, whether it's hard skills like HTML, CSS, PHP, and MySQL, or the soft skills that you could learn as a freelancer, I have all of that stuff available inside of my curriculum over on Skillshare. And the best part of it is you can get started with it for nothing. Just go to johnmorrisonline.com/Skillshare. That will trigger the 2-month free trial for you. Once you have that set up, then you can take all my courses plus any of the 20,000 other courses that are available over there. Then just cancel anytime before the 2 months is up, and you'll never pay a penny. So it's a really great way to get the skills that you need and get paid to do this developer thing and start building your career and start doing this for a living without having to hand over your firstborn to do it. So again, the link for that is johnmorrisonline.com/Skillshare. I hope you'll stay on there because it's a really good community. There's a really good group of people over there that you can interact with and learn from and so forth. But again, like I said, take the trial, take all my courses, and you can cancel anytime before the 2 months is up, and you won't pay anything, and you'll get access to all my courses, all my source code, everything. So Again, it's a pretty good deal. Link again is johnmorrisonline.com/Skillshare. All right, guys, that'll do it for this one. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.